think I nailed it that time. I think I
Nailed
got
it. Absolutely nailed
I
it.
think I got it that time.
That was very, very good. What a week, huh?
Yeah. It's been...
Are you still in the yard?
No, we are done with yard work. The yard is done for the most part. A couple little things in the front yard, and it's just it is what it is. We're done as much as we can do at this point. It's we don't own, so we rent. So there's only so much you can do, but you do what you can.
I need to get a tan before your party.
No, that's what the party's for.
It's going to be like fucking sunburned that day.
Yeah, well, we also do have, because I'm Scottish, we do have umbrellas, so you'll be all right there. So you'll be able to sit under a shaded spot.
What's funny is you mean like patio umbrellas, but what would be hilarious is if you handed everyone a fucking umbrella as they walked in.
No, everybody's getting a parasol when they walk in.
Yeah,
it's
like very European. Here's your umbrella.
Yeah. Go ahead and shade yourself here, because we're all a bunch of night owls and
spin it around and poke people with it.
What's the fucking Nightbreed? We're all a bunch of those fucking creatures from Nightbreed. So shade yourself.
Started dropping into the the Tucci is back. Stanley Tucci in Italy.
Oh yeah.
And there are a few, I can't tell when he's in Italy this time. I think it's all year. But there are a few times where it's raining and he does a bunch of like cool things like spinning the umbrella to the camera, and he's just so fucking fashionable.
Yeah, he's a stylish man.
Yeah.
And he likes to cook and he likes to eat, so I am for it.
Yeah, and he's allowed in Italy because he can speak Italian. And
yeah, well, his name is
love
Tucci.
him. They don't really think of him as an American, I don't think.
I would party with Stanley Tucci.
Oh, yeah.
I would totally party with him.
Yeah, he's kind of weird and standoffish, and then way opens up.
Yeah, I kind of love that about him. I love that he's not just a one-dimensional being.
But he's a beautiful man with a beautiful heart, and this season travels along the same lines of like what he thinks about the future and how people should act in countries.
The wave
I don't know
how
to put it. Progressively. Let's just put it progressively. And he's
delicate.
Very strong about it. I like it. Yeah.
I
was like, man, I want to get fit so I can dress like him in Europe.
Oh yeah.
I'll never be like that. I mean, I was bigger than that when I was 8. I mean, he's sort of a string bean man, but
yeah.
But God, he makes it look good. And a lot of them umbrellas. Anyway, it was umbrellas.
So it was the umbrellas with the through line there. Well, hey, welcome to 2 Shots Umbrella Pod.
2 shots in an umbrella.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, please like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us 5 stars and leave a dirty message over there on Apple Podcast if you would.
Please do.
5 stars means you hate the podcast. Remember that, everyone. 5 stars, go brrr, all the way to the right. Remember, follow us everywhere where you follow people at 2 Shots Music Pod. Hey, that's the number 2 Shots Music Pod. I had a pretty cool week.
Yeah.
I went and saw the Bobby G Awards.
What is the Bobby G Awards? You sound like a rapper.
I know. The Bobby G Awards is an award from like, there's a group of people who were part of the musical scene in Colorado, 2 people specifically, and they wanted to start these awards to, I guess, praise young kids that are doing good work in musicals and in all over the state. Mm-hmm. And so they started holding these highfalutin fancy things called the Bobby G Awards. And it's named after this guy, Bobby G. And so it was at the Ellie Calkin, which is an opera house, the Ellie, as we call it, put on with the Denver Center of Performing Arts. I had very low expectations. Because I know that it's one of those like sort of judging competitions that high schools have to pay for to be involved in. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, I was fucking blown away. I was blown away. The talent of some of these kids. They had some of the high schools perform some numbers, like from Hadestown or from Newsies or Carrie the Musical. And
is
then
that a real
bunch
musical?
of like technical awards and things like that handed out.
Huh.
And what they normally do is like the people that win, they get to go on to like kind of a different competition and go to New York, the Jimmy Awards in New York, apparently, And so they get like really good mentorship, and they had people who were previous winners from previous years actually giving out some of the awards and stuff, and it was fucking great. It was classy and fun, but I will tell you what we did not anticipate was thousands of high school kids screaming. So every time they'd be like, and from, Fletcher Ridge High School, and you'd hear like 10 people over there. By the way, some of the most well-attended high schools that were there. So like you had your own people, like we were there to represent North because we were with our people from North High School. And he was speaking. I'll tell you what that was. But like some of the other students were from like Durango.
Yeah.
And Pueblo.
Wow.
And
they drove a bit.
Like way far away. They were going to be staying in Denver that night. And like you could tell there were like, I don't know, like 60 kids from that school there. Yeah. Screaming. You could just tell. And like not as well attended, like Lakewood was sitting behind us. And it wasn't like these were roped off areas, but it was like, people bought block seats. And, but yeah, boy, man, Pueblo represented.
There you go.
They were screaming hard, and it was fun.
That is where my person went to high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Pueblo West or Pueblo? By the way, there's a performing arts school in Pueblo.
Apparently so. Now, I don't think it was there when she was living there, but yeah. So fantastic. Well, that sounds like it was a lovely video. Who, by the way,
it was.
Who the fuck is naming these things? The Jimmy Awards, the Ali G Awards,
I know. And there was a little dick sucking going on though. Like some of the awards were named after the person that championed like the lighting directing or a choreographer who's been big in the Denver Center Arts.
Oh, nice.
So there's a little bit of that. And then like the Bill and Laura Newman technical award for best whatever, and they're standing up there and like the kid wins and they don't even understand like they've put some money into this, so maybe say thank you. And they're like they don't get to say anything. It's just this older couple just standing there going, here you go, here's your award.
Yeah.
But like real awards and big screens, it was fully well attended.
Awesome.
There was a new award this year called the Spirit of Bobby G's. And it was presented to a high school program whose student-centered initiatives and community engagement efforts have gone above and beyond any of the nominated categories. And this year, in the first year, the recipient was Denver North.
Oh, nice.
And for the musical Shrek that they did.
Yeah.
And so is Max Gonzalez and Christopher Pettis Jr., who plays Donkey. Yeah, nice. Max played Shrek. And then Greta, who played Fiona.
Nice.
And so they got to go up and say their piece, and it was like, dude, it was totally. I will tell you, the word BIPOC was used a lot.
Oh,
the acronym BIPOC.
The acronym, yes, okay.
Black, Indigenous, and People of Color.
Excellent.
There was a term thrown around a few times called La Raza with a hand held up. Yes.
Oh.
And it was, I didn't know this, but apparently their high school, they have a no cut rule. So like if you try out for the musical, you get in, and it's more about participation and being able to get people of all genders and colors and economic backgrounds like a chance to be on stage and get into the arts, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's fun.
And they were trying to like sort of, I guess, push that more in the state, which, but I will tell you, the Gen X in me was like, okay, I love that, but like that is not going to serve you well as you're in your future endeavors in the musical community. You will be auditioning, you will get your heart broken.
Yeah.
And like it needs to be a little competitive. It sucks. We can't Stu, not all teams can win.
I know, but there's that part
I thought
of me
you
that's
would
like,
love that.
I do love that, but I also understand that there's a reality to this, and it is especially if you're going to the upper echelons of the musical theater community, there is a highly competitive
It's brutal.
Thing. It's brutal. You will get
cattle calls.
Things will be said to you that are just shitty. So I guess that begs the question: is it better to have people experience that in high school, or is it better to build them up? I don't know the answer to that. I am not a psychologist. I am a person with a guitar.
Yeah, I don't know how to best go about it because I wasn't. My people never. That did not exist.
Yeah.
When I was doing the thing.
There are people that will say that's a participation trophy, but I think that, there's things that everybody's good at. I mean, fucking Harrison Ford was a carpenter. You're welcome.
Yeah, and I think there's also, look, there's a positive side of it that, like, especially if your high school doesn't have, like, sort of the demographics or, the amount of people that you can find leads everywhere.
Yeah.
Or 2 or 3 leads and be like, that one's better than this one. We're going to cut this one. Then it is probably the right way to go about it to make sure that everybody gets involved.
Yeah. Yeah. At least, like to give people an opportunity to try out and stuff like that. Because I know that level of program is not happening in middle school.
No, absolutely not.
No.
But, I don't know. I mean, from a professional standpoint, I'm like, you need to you got to kind of separate some people. This is the difference between like the American Idol person that does their audition because their mom has told them they're so fucking good. And then they're standing back and they're like, honey, they don't know what they're talking about. You are the best singer in the world. And it's like, you are doing that kid a disservice.
I agree. I think there's reasonable ways to go about that. But it's also the reason.
Are there?
It's the reason you have JV and varsity. For sports, it's like you got an entry. I think
that's why there's a chorus.
Exactly, there should be an entry point, but there's also the person that is the lead is not going to be the person that we were discussing a moment ago.
No, but I will say that Max and Chris and Greta, they all did a great job representing their school and representing their point of view. I agree. I thought it was punk as fuck that they did it.
Yeah.
Because everyone else was like, oh my God, I'm so, wow, I'm just blown away by this award. And then you got these 3 kids from Denver North going up there like, hey man, here's a fucking problem. It needs to be dealt with. And I liked it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And it was so Hispanic and it was so black and so gay and some of it. And I was like, hell yeah, I like this.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, I mean, that part of it I loved. However that came about, I don't really care.
Yeah. If we win, this is what we're going to say. I fucking love it. Carry on.
Yeah, they had gone on the local news to promote that they were going to be doing this speech. Mm-hmm. And so they got a little bit of news time and yeah, I just think it's great.
Excellent.
So it was really fun. Bobby G Awards. And I don't know how rigged it is. I was talking to one of my friends. I'm like, I'm always tentative for these award shows where there's paid entry because, unfortunately or fortunately, I have been a judge in a lot of these things, and. I just know, and I'll just tell you personally, if you're entering a contest for songwriting or musical stuff or anything arts oriented and you're paying, I will just tell you from the judge side, they get people like me to come in and they're like, oh, here's a songwriter and blah, blah, blah. But the people that run it, they tell you, hey, you got to make sure to be positive. You got to make sure to be like nurturing about the awards and to make sure that the people, feel like they got their money's worth and that they come back. Yeah. And so you do water down your critique.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not fair. Again, I don't find it fair for anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying you should be able to go in there and St. James someone or just rip them apart. Like, that's not the venue for that. But you should be able to be a little bit cold and professional about it in a way.
Yeah.
And hopefully let them know.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe accounting.
Yeah. I think that's tough because it's like there's a okay, I will
but
give
you
you
don't know where they are in their journey.
I agree with that, but I also know that like there's a part of this where it depends on the individual, right? I remember a while ago, let's make this about me for a second. Michael, how do you feel? Michael, how do you feel about me?
I love you.
But enough about me. How do you feel about me?
I love him.
I remember doing a gig with somebody, a particular type of personality, and there was at the end of the show, a bunch of people coming up to you and they're saying, it was like my third or fourth gig with this band. And the person, a bunch of people walked up and were like, you guys were great. You're fucking great. That's great. You guys are great. You know, that kind of stuff. And the music director looked at me and said, you know, that's really kind of all these people because I know how shitty you played today.
Ooh.
And
that's.
But here's the thing: is I have a choice in that moment. I can go and to be fair, I played good. I could have played better, but it was my fourth show and it was my first show off book, right? So it was it had been like a rush in. I'm I think I had 10 days to learn 53 songs, all right, which is not a huge thing, but it was a lot, and it took me a couple 3 shows to get off book. But I had a choice. I walked away and I had my moment, and then at the end of it, I was like, my punk rock kid inside me goes, well, fuck you. You're never going to say that to me ever again. And I played with the guy for fucking ever after that. I played with him for a while after that. It was just.
But did you agree?
No.
Like, was the criticism fair?
The criticism
you
was
play shitty that night.
The criticism was
like for whatever reason, just that night.
I didn't play
shitty.
I did not play shitty.
Oh, okay.
I played well. I played appropriately for the amount of time and the amount of that I had been in the band, and I did not make any clangers or mistakes. I just didn't play with the vim and vigor that they wanted of the guy who was newly off book.
Right.
And so I understand the point, but I also was like, you're not going to be able to do that again. And so I think it comes down to the personality type to a certain extent. Like, if you can't take a little bit, especially if you're going to a certain level in this career, you have to be able to take that note and be able to do something with it. And if then you go about it and you go through your whole thing and you get through the other side and you kick ass and you take names and they still fucking have that opinion of you, well, then that's not your job.
Yeah. But that was also unwarranted critique. Like you weren't asking for it.
No.
You didn't go, hey, so how did it do? How did I sound? How was it?
Yeah.
Like I know I've been in these situations before where I am the Simon Cowell. And someone someone needs to be more the Randy Jackson or sort of the Paul Abdul in this, or whoever the middle person is now. I don't even fucking know. But it's like, if you ask and you're like, if someone like is offhanded, like, so how was that? Be like, and I'll find something positive and be like, I think you kind of nailed that middle part. That was pretty good. Like, that was excellent. If they really dig deeper and they're like, but tell me, like, was that word, like, is this good enough or whatever? They'll be like, I will also usually go, are you sure you want to hear it? Yeah. I will give them one last chance before we cross the line.
Yeah.
And then I will give them a professional critique,
It's up to them how to take that professional critique, I would say, and if they take that and they go, well, I quit, then it wasn't meant for you. You know what I mean?
And I don't think I ever like, I know that I'm known for it, but I really don't think I ever kind of go full negative.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever go full St. James, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't, I think I always like sort of start with a little bit of sugar.
Yeah.
And like, here's what I really liked about it, or here's the thing I liked. And you can usually tell by whatever that is. Like, I really like the tone of the bass on this. Like, wow, you're digging deep to find something positive,
The positivity sandwich. Yeah, we've all read that.
Yeah.
In that fucking goddamn leadership retreat.
But especially with like auditions and things like that, and competition, I will be straight about it. I just will be. I will be because, and I get it. It's kind of my upbringing. It's, it's the shit. I mean, I've gotten lead roles and I've also been told, that wasn't good. You're not going to make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, really? Like, because I just did some real lead roles over here. I'm a lead singer. And, and then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Fuck that person. There is something about that helps you fight back, that punk thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of like, fuck that person. I'll show them.
Exactly.
It's just like, how long do you do that? Like, how many people can be wrong?
Yeah. Well, at this point.
And you're right.
Yeah. At this point in time, I think we've been doing it for about 50 years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But, hey, we grew this year. Remember, this year I learned a big lesson about myself where one of the things I can say is that's just not for me.
Yeah.
Instead of, that fucking sucks, that blows, I can just say, that's just not for me.
Yeah.
And it's also because it's something that we tell people that we work with all the time. I know I do, where I like it if there's some people that don't like what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it means that there's a bunch of people who love what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little bit of controversy, and if someone that really doesn't like what you do, there's gonna be someone who loves what you do.
Absolutely.
And then you don't have to waste your time with the people who don't like it.
Yeah.
But at least you're not milquetoast. At least it's not all. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there you go, everyone. Try to audition.
Yeah.
Take good advice and fuck the haters.
Yep.
All right, let's get to a little music biz bits. We got some news stories this week. Woo!
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh boy.
The DOJ has opened an investigation into collusion between LiveNation and AEG. Kill surprise? What? Examining whether the live events companies illegally colluded to establish refund policies and deals with artists for concerts that were impacted by public gathering restrictions during the pandemic. Yeah, this is like everyone fucking knows that they did that. I can't believe it's taken this long for DOJ to open this up. They absolutely did collude.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's illegal that they colluded.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of all in this together after COVID about like bringing this back and how do we do refunds based on insurance and COVID shit. Like, okay, so if you pop a positive COVID and you can't come to the concert, should you get a refund? Because that was not a policy the day before.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, public gathering restrictions, like how you had to refund a bunch of tickets because it was a 2,000 seater and now it becomes a 1,500 seater because of distancing.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the shit they're talking about. I do think they colluded. I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing. I think they were trying to create a policy out of fresh air.
Yeah. I think
so
that,
to
like,
speak.
there's all kinds of things. This is one of those things where the front end of this looks like people got screwed out of ticket money. But on the backside of this, if you think about it, you and I know this, the amount of money it takes to put on these shows, even the amount of insurance you have to carry to have a show on certain levels.
Yeah.
Like all of these all those prices didn't fucking change. In fact, most of them went up during this whole process. So it's like there probably was a conversation at some point in time, hey, we need to figure out how to handle this.
Yeah, and let's do it in the same way so it doesn't seem like I would be more pissed off if Live Nation's policy was different from AEG.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it was like, we're not going to refund you. And then it becomes a competitive thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of a public health thing.
So I guess when the DOJ opens something like this, they're looking for any evidence, I'm guessing, of any wrongdoing, or what is the
Well, I looked into this a little bit further, and I know this is kind of deep in the weeds, but collusion, they're not supposed to like sort of match policies to profit from ticket buyers. So there's like, usually they're supposed to like keep that a competitive secret within their own ticket sphere. So if Live Nation does deals with artists over here for their Live Nation artists that they have signed this year to do these tours.
Yeah.
And AEG gets wind of it and they find out that Live Nation has done something different than AEG does. And AEG has to come in and they talk to Live Nation. They go, hey, what's that special deal? We want to give that to our artists that are touring with us.
Yeah.
Apparently that's collusion where it like makes a monopolistic thing where artists can't choose one or the other promoter. But we all know that you can't. Like there's some artists that can't play AEG's venues or Live Nation venues.
Yeah.
And so, but again, usually the collusion part of the same industry has to do with like a competitive disadvantage.
Yeah.
I think they were both at disadvantage.
Yeah.
And so I don't see where collusion in this, by the technical term, is really where a law was broken. And if it was, I think they should allow it. Maybe they just need to make, like, the Department of Justice probably, or FTC, better yet, needs to make, like, better lawmaking around this. Like, if there are public health crises, or if there's a fucking, because they've done this before, by the way. They've done this before in like hurricane and tornado stuff, where they've been like, okay, we're all going to decide these are off just out of public health safety.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, so it's not like an AEG will keep that concert open knowing full well a fucking hurricane is coming to South Florida.
Yeah.
And Live Nation pulls out and they're like, nope, refunds for everybody.
Yeah.
Like they do call each other about that. Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I see it as.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I know for a fact that like even I, as a independent contractor putting in bids for shows and stuff like that, I have certain clauses in my contract to protect against this kind of stuff. But like I have a new since 2020 I have a COVID clause in my contract.
Yeah.
About like how that's going to be handled.
We don't have to worry about that anymore because the FDA is going to restrict COVID vaccines for anyone who isn't 65 or older, as well as like certain health conditions. So you won't be able to get one anymore. You won't be able to get a vaccine. So there you go. That's not music news. That's just me sharing the fucking news with you.
Jesus. Do you even watch the news anymore?
I don't. No,
Yeah, me
I mean,
either.
I have my little newsreader thing that I compare stories across, you know, it's kind of a journalism thing.
I get it.
I never take one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always look at it from a bunch of things. And I'm like,
Yeah.
And plus, you know, from being in journalism, I'm like, I don't pay attention to headlines.
Yeah.
I dive right down deep into it. Like I look at the kicker at the end first.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, you know, it's like, possible signs of life found on Kepler 12b for the first time ever. And then you go all the way to the bottom and it's like, actually not.
Yeah. Actually, no.
So, you know, we had a 22-year-old write the headline. So anyway, all right, let's move on to Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Mention Bad Bunny on tour. We mentioned that he was not doing the U.S. in this massive tour he's doing. It just is unbelievable. There's a good reason why he's not. He doesn't want to lose his crew.
Yep.
Or him.
Yeah.
If you saw him, by the way, he is American.
Yeah.
Cuban.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you saw him on SNL, that was it. That's all you're going to see. By the way, 2 great performances on SNL. Really fun play work with the set and stuff. Really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, the tickets to the 54 stadium gigs across the world in 18 countries have been on sale for 1 week, and he hit 2.6 million tickets sold already.
Good Lord.
To put that in perspective, Taylor Swift did about 10.5 million over those 2 years were for Eras.
Wow.
So, and those were, not all of them were like these kind of stadiums. He's going to be doing a lot of soccer stadiums, which are up in the 80,000s.
Yeah. I'm curious if they have any of that same thing that you dealt with the Oasis tours not coming to the U.S., where there's a bunch of foreigners going to see Bad Bunny in these soccer stadiums, and how that's going to work.
Well, and what it tells you, and the reason why we're bringing it up, is that the live market for super duper stars is not soft.
Yeah.
We thought the money had left. It's not. The middle is soft. And
kind of like
people
me.
trying to go back out a few times.
Yeah.
Again, those tickets are soft. But for someone who is a major superstar that's an event, we've said it on this podcast a few times, live concert goers are now treating these concerts like vacations.
Yeah.
They save up for them.
Yep.
This is my one thing. I'm going to do this one thing. Now, other concerts will get hurt because of this or whatever. They'll have lower ticket sales, but not Bad Bunny.
Not Bad Bunny.
Not Bad Bunny.
Fantastic.
Very nice. Diddy trial has started, and all I have to say is yuck.
Oh, God.
It's so gross.
Oh, boy.
It's just so gross. It's just gross, and fuck that guy. I do not think this motherfucker's going to see the light of day, even if he gets pardoned.
Yeah.
There's talk about him trying to work out a pardon with Trump. I don't know about the legalese of that because you can only get like federal pardons, and some of this is state and all of that. But like he's done on the street.
Yeah.
I know that. I've talked to old heads from rap and stuff, and he's like, ain't gonna happen, Chief.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people who are like, by the time he gets out of prison, there's gonna be people talking about Diddy and Biggie and be like, it would be like Cab Calloway. That's how long it's gonna be. Like,
wow. Wow.
It'd be like someone today talking about Cab Calloway. Remember when? Like,
Yeah.
it's just going to be so long.
Oh, my goodness.
So, fuck that guy.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Gross.
Just
Yep.
so gross. Stand-up sex workers. One last bit of news here, which may not be on your thing. Josh Freese is out as the drummer of the Foo Fighters.
Oh, yeah. Saw this.
Or is he?
Dun, dun, dun.
So for the last few days, the whole music industry have been talking about the Instagram post from Josh Freese, who says Foo Fighters called him and have let him go, decided they're going in a different direction.
Yeah.
And, he thanks them for the 2 years. It was a lot of fun. He was shocked and saddened by it. He was given no reason. Mm-hmm. And this was the thing. He's like, maybe I'll do like a top 10 list of why Josh was kicked out of the Foo Fighters later on.
Yeah.
Which he did do yesterday.
Yep.
Okay. No new drummer has been announced as of this podcast for Foo Fighters. As of the time that Josh put that out, there was one show scheduled for Foo Fighters, which is an F1 show, I believe, in Singapore, something like that.
Yeah.
There are now 4 more shows that have been announced in Jakarta, Indonesia. There are many more shows than that one.
Yeah.
And I will just tell you from my point of view, few things that are weird about this.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Dave called him. It was that Foo Fighters called him. That matters because when Foo Fighters calls you, that means the management called you.
Yeah.
Going in a different direction is definitely corporate speak.
Yeah.
The band may have been on the phone, but Dave called him to hire him. Dave is Foo Fighters. This is Bon Jovi. Dave is Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters is Dave. Everyone else works for him, and that's the way it works. So that was something strange. It wasn't that, Dave reached out, they're going in a different direction, blah, blah, blah. It was fun with the Foo Fighters. So that was weird. Second, no reason was given, so nothing has been... No one in the world, no musician in the world thinks that Josh Freese was kicked out of Foo Fighters for anything musical.
Yeah, not at all.
And it would have nothing to do with the new recording because everyone knows that Dave goes in and does the drum parts and then gives them to you and goes, here's the drum parts. You go do your thing.
Yeah.
He did that with Taylor. He's done that with everybody. And that is literally what Josh Freese is known for.
Yeah.
He has no problem going into the studio and doing the parts. Again, every musician, every drummer in the world would be like, I think that Josh Freese is probably the best drummer in the world outside of Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
It's always Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
And then Josh Freese. I mean, we're in Eddie Van Halen land with drummers here.
Yeah.
And so it's not that. He's just, from all accounts, the nicest, chillest dude. It would be hard. He doesn't have a drug problem. He's not a huge drinker.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like it's one of those things. What do you think?
I wonder a little bit about the solo show that Dave did at Coachella.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the different direction is a Foo Fighters show featuring none of the Foo Fighters.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I mean, maybe passing, or the other option we talked about was the potential of a little Nirvana run.
I thought for sure the post Nirvana thing would.
With Post Malone. That would
because
be
think about the timeline of this.
Yeah.
So what we're not talking about, and we've texted about this, what no one's talking about this week is the affair and the kid.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good look over here. La na 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 na. But if you think about it, so Dave was suspicious, not suspiciously, he was out and about with Violet shopping for Halloween stuff after the announcement.
Yeah.
During the day. Everyone knew he'd have a picture taken of him.
Yeah.
Conspicuously.
Yeah.
Then after that, he showed up and he played drums doing Nirvana songs for the fire relief thing for the wildfires.
Yeah.
Didn't say a thing. It's just Dave on stage being a drummer.
Yeah.
Then after that, he shows up in the documentary for Cowbell in SNL, which means that was shot around that time with Questlove.
Yeah.
And also him talking about Nirvana and Foo Fighters on SNL. So that was him like soft launching back into public because they couldn't get away with it with the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
And then they do the SNL music show, and it is post Nirvana with post Malone fronting.
Yeah.
Again, Dave behind the drums didn't say a goddamn thing, but everyone seemed very happy to see Dave out in public, sweaty, playing music again.
Yeah.
So we're going, okay, everything's fine. Then he shows up to Coachella and he does the 2 songs with the LA Philharmonic.
Yeah.
And then he's dancing with Violet at Coachella.
Yeah.
And then he takes a few pictures with some other people, Kim Deal and a few other people. And nobody mentions the thing.
Yeah.
And we look like we're coming back. Everything's good here. And then this drops. And it's the weirdest fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they haven't controlled the narrative at all.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters have not released a statement at all about it.
Yeah.
So the other night, Person and I were talking about this. What if this is ultimate prank? Where Josh lost a bet or something and basically was like, okay, let's just have you go out and say you were let go from the Foo Fighters. And, and then do your like top 10 silly list of why you think it might have been.
Yeah.
And then Dave would come out and go, wow, we were just fucking with you. Ha ha ha, we're back. Because no one wants Shane Hawkins to do this. He's a kid.
He's a kid. We do not want how old is he, 17?
I don't know, but he's grieving still from the loss of his father.
Yeah.
And you don't put him through a 2-year meat grinder of the Foo Fighters. It looks like Rufus is possible from the darkness. They're not touring in October when a lot of these gigs are, but they are touring in September and November.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Then there's one wild card here that no one has talked about. You've heard it first here on this podcast.
Ding, 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 ding,
Zach
ding, ding, ding.
Starkey.
I was going to mention Zach Starkey because he also lost his job this week again.
He lost his job with the Who
again.
They're throwing. He's dropping the tea about. They asked me to say, this, and I said no. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say I'm walking away from the band. You got to fire me, and so they did.
Yeah. I mean, like, what that fuck? Did you see the video of some of that when all that fucking went down, that Royal Albert Hall show and all that kind of stuff? It's uncomfortable.
It's so cringy.
Yeah,
as the kids say.
Yeah, and it's such a weird thing. Like, it's like, okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. What do you mean you can't hear? You're on in-ears.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you get to go talk to your monitor engineer. It's not because the drummer's fucking overplaying, and he wasn't overplaying. And from what I saw, and you don't do that gig for 20-something.
I mean,
years.
That's a mix thing at that level.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And I mean, how long has he been doing that gig? 30 years. I mean, something like that.
I also don't think he's a good. I don't think he's a good match. If that's who it ends up being, he's a name, but he's not. A good match.
He's not the drummer for the Foos. I don't.
No,
think.
He's more of a 5-piece cocktail set guy. He is. He's very much Ringo blood. I mean, it's keep a steady backbeat, and there's your tom, your floor tom.
Yeah, exactly. Open your hi-hat a little bit when you hit the snare. That's how it works.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
So it's going to be an interesting series of events. I really hope that your person is correct.
Yeah,
in that, like, psych you bitches,
because no one would be upset by that.
No.
Like she was saying, think about your favorite sitcom when the TV show gets canceled, or a character gets canceled, and then they make the fans. This is something that's done all the time now.
Yeah,
let's see if the fans, like, it's an agent thing.
Yeah,
let's see if the fans really do fucking love you.
Yeah,
and then you start looking online. How many people go, "This is bullshit."
Yeah,
bring him back, bring them back, or whatever.
Yeah,
and then when they do, all is forgiven.
You're
it's
a
just
hero.
seen as like they're a hero. Yeah, and so, but I mean, if it is a joke. And by the way, it's worked. We're not talking about the affair and kid thing.
Well, we are.
Like we are, but but I love that there's drama around Foo Fighters that is like this, like we're talking about rock music again. It's nice.
Yeah. Agreed.
And so if it's a joke, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And, like May Fools. I don't know. I'm not sure how to put it.
I wonder if I love the idea that he lost a bet.
Because I think Josh Freese would participate in it.
Abso-fucking-lutely he would. I think it's funny. Like, he lost a bet. That's funny.
That's what I think. I mean, it could have happened.
Yeah,
I don't know. It feels like something's afoot. Again, if you read that statement, it is massaged as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's not how this normally goes, especially if you know the Foo Fighters operation. However, The flip side of that is if Jordan called the code red, this is the way it would look.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so there could be wife stuff happening here that we don't even know about, and we never fucking will.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be Jordan and Pat's wife going, that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hoping that it's a joke and he'll be back and all will be well because he's the perfect drummer for him. So.
Agreed.
All right, that's enough of music biz news. Let's move on to Turn You On. Baby.
Oh, this week is a good one. This is a really fucking good one. Go ahead, drop it.
Stu and I listened to 2 songs this week. One is, let's say it's got a little bit of love on it because it's a bit older and wiser than other ones. And the other one's a brand fucking new song that we want you to hear. And we're going to start out with the brand new song. It's from a band called Sock Jockey.
Oh, yeah.
Love the name of the band. It's a song called Hide and Seek. You will see the link there. We want you to go listen to these songs. They are straight out of Madison, Wisconsin, bro. By the way, they name check influences from Cake to Justin Timberlake to Blink-182, and I have to agree. It's one of those bios where I'm like, yeah, that tracks.
Yep.
And as a songwriter, I love when young songwriters fuck up the form, and this does.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Like if you're a songwriter, you know what ABBA means, right? Or ABAC means. And these guys are writing AABBCABDs.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck what your parents listen to. So, and they put a whole lot of different like syncopated chorus stuff in there, tons of changes, dark pop punk at the end.
Yeah.
It gets a little heavier, and there comes the Blink-182. How are you?
Yeah.
The danger is they're throwing everything they've ever learned into every song, but that's what you do when you're young.
Yeah.
They need a little bit more AC/DC in them, I think. But I fucking love the effort. Also, definable style.
Yeah.
They got a look to them. They got a style to their videos.
Yeah.
I love it. What did you think?
I really, okay, so first off, the video is a loop of 4 scenes of them not even fucking playing the song with the lyrics up there. They got, I really hope that the 94 people that we have listening to this go listen to this song and crank these the views up because these kids are fucking great. I loved this song, and there was some parts of it I listened to and I went, oh, I fucking love that. And then like there's a pre-chorus shows up right before the first that has this really gorgeous where they stack the lines where the last line is held, the last note of the line is held up, and there's this big 4-part fucking harmony happening, and it only happens once. And I went, you motherfuckers! They
never come back to it.
It never came back again. The riffs are fucking banging. The fact that there's some minor major play against each other. There's a major third in the guitar part, and he's singing a minor sixth on top of it. It's fucking cool as shit. I really, really liked this a lot because it was just like I didn't expect it. You know what
Surprising.
I mean? It starts one way, and I went, okay, I have a handle on this, and then I was like, I do not have a handle on this.
Yeah,
and I really loved that as a man of a certain age in the music industry, I loved that this kind of fucking turned my head sideways like a confused spaniel. You know? Because again, and I was like, I did not expect that. And that works. I mean, as a songwriter, yeah, there's a little bit of the craft that they will grow into. How old are these kids too?
I don't know, but they're young.
They look like they're in
young.
fucking high school, and this is really fucking cool, and I'm for it. I'm here for it. I look forward to seeing what else. I mean, this is how many songs do they have out before this? This is like maybe
like one
first,
or two.
Like, yeah, this is it for
this is the beginning.
Fucking first
and that's another reason why I'm kind of pushing them here is that when I hear this as like sort of opening salvo, there's been a few bands we've talked about like this, their first EP, and I'm like, they've got a little something going on here. I remember what it's like when you're in a young band and there's an old dude that says something like, I can't wait to see what you do next.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about them is like, no, you guys are on to something here. This isn't it. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
But like you could really, really do some damage here.
Yeah.
And I think that they're on that plane.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm very excited to see what they do next. I hope this is one of the things I forgot when I was younger, when I was like 19, 20, 21 years old, was that this is not the last great song I will ever write.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so it's like,
but you remember when you're that age, you think this is what's going to make it. We're going to make it.
Yeah,
we got to make it.
And it might. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the arbiter of taste on this, but I fucking loved this. I really did. I loved how it was produced. I loved that it was risky. I liked it. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, Chance the Rapper or fucking, it wasn't like, you know, like super edgy and anything like that in that way, but like the composition and the things that they were doing musically, that's where I thought the edge and the risk taking was. The lyrics weren't really risk taking or anything like that. It wasn't like, you know, it didn't have a pointed message. It's not Rage Against the Machine or anything like that.
But especially against the backdrop of what's happening with pop punk coming back.
Yeah.
And it's so derivative. Like there's bands that can do it really well.
Yeah.
That are bringing it back, and they're really fucking good at bringing it back.
Yeah.
But then there's also like, let's not recycle it. Let's move it forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what they're doing, is that they clearly have some of that in their background. And, and they show you at the end of this song how much they love that.
Yeah.
Let's go some double time. But like it also is like seeing that they're changing the form a little bit. I'm like, oh, I like this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they're up to next.
Yeah. I can't wait to see them on tour when they can drink. We'll buy you a beer, Sock Jockey.
We told you back when.
That's right. Hide and Seek, Sock Jockey. Go check it out today. There you go. All right, let's get to the older song, to the wiser song, to the fun song that's way back in 1998.
Oh, dear.
Another millennia.
Oh.
This is Brian Setzer Orchestra, Jump, Jive, and Wail. This is... Obviously, it's a cover of the Louis Prima song. Everyone knows that by now, I would think.
Yeah.
I would hope so. But listen, if you have not heard this and you're a younger person listening to this or watching this, just imagine listening to the radio or your Spotify top 10, and this song is on there.
Yeah.
It's treated just like the latest Kendrick Lamar song or the latest Morgan Wallen song or the latest whatever song. And then this song just sort of pops into natural culture. Yeah. And it's like, now we're listening to this. Yeah. It's crazy that this happened. Yeah. And I bring this up because I'm down for another swing music revival. Yeah. And a friend of ours just booked Squirrel Nut Zippers at a big municipal concert. Like a big 10,000 people going to be there. Excellent. I'm like, fuck yeah, that is so awesome. Yeah. And it's partially because someone was talking on Blue Sky about Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and like how crazy it was that the 80s had this swing music. And I was like, no. Let Uncle Michael come in here and talk to you about the mid 90s. Yeah. And about swing revival and about swingers and swing kids and the Mask movies were pushing this. Yeah. Yeah. And, Cherry Poppin' Daddies and, there's horn players and bass players and there were young kids dressing up and going dancing and is sexy and fast. And this song has a key change. One of the best fucking breakdowns. Yeah. Put this up with Life is a Highway.
Yeah, this
you
song
want guitar? Sure, you can have that. You want horns? You bet. How about some bass? What's not to love? Just absolutely love this. By the way, won a Grammy in '99 for Best Pop Performance by a duo or a group with vocals at the 41st Grammys, and I'm down for it. Let's bring it back.
Yeah, it's a fucking great cover. And also, Brian Setzer has always kind of been pushing this. You go back to Stray Cats and all that kind of stuff. He's always kind of had that rockabilly, kind of almost like a big band thing. He's played big fucking sweaty guitars, and he shreds on this fucking solo.
Oh, it's so good.
Plus, what a bitchin' lift and key change on the end of this fucker. It's so good. And the band sounds fucking great. You can tell it's a fucking orchestra. It's a big band.
Holds up.
It holds up. It's so well produced.
It's toe tapping, finger snapping. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you watch the video, kids, you'll realize, I don't know about this with those old people back there in the 90s dressing up and dancing. Hey, man, take a look at them. It was sexy and comfortable.
Yeah. It does look comfortable.
Those chicks weren't wearing heels And they could dance and wear those like sort of like floppy dresses, and dudes could wear these like sort of long baggy pants and like an A shirt on top and just put a hat on.
Yeah. Spats.
What's up? That's right. That's right. It was a sexy time. I hope we bring it back. I'd like to see the kids get back into it.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not doing the drugs or drinking the alcohol. They should get back into swing dancing.
That's right. That's right. Drop a few tabs, do some shrooms, and let's jump, jive, and will. Brian Setzer Orchestra.
Would you please?
All right. That does it for that. Let's get to the sink of the week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mr. Stu, what sink do you have for the children today?
Dr. Stu, I didn't go to medical school, so you could call me Mister.
I apologize.
Yeah,
Doctor.
Just kidding. I am going to give a shout out because Long Way is back, baby.
Long way down.
No, it's not Long Way Down.
Long road home.
It's Long Way Home. This is Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman on their epic motorcycle rides. They did Long Way Round, which was they went from London to New York, across Europe. It was fucking bananas, like 23,000 miles. They did Long Way Down, which is from the tip of Scotland all the way down to to Cape Town in South Africa. And they did Long Way Up from the tip of South America all the way up to Los Angeles. And then now the new one is Long Way Home. On electric bikes. Yeah, the first two were on big ass BMW GSs. The third season, which was the first Apple Long Way. The other ones were, I believe, BBC series or something like that. And Long Way Up, which is the electric motorcycle one, 2002, came out in 2020, shot in 2018, 2019. And the new one is Long Way Home, where they go from Scotland all the way up through fucking Europe and all over the fucking place, bananas places on old motorcycles, ending at Charlie's Boorman's house in London. I want to give a shout out to the Stereophonics song Long Way Round, because this is the 4th season of the Long Way series, and they have gone back in and re-recorded that chorus and changed the last word 4 times. So
that isn't Ewan McGregor singing.
No, that is a band called the Stereophonics.
I get back home.
Yeah, that is a band called the Stereophonics. They did the first Long Way Round, which Long Way Round is the name of the song. And then Long Way Down was the second one. They changed the last word of the chorus to Long Way Down, and then Long Way Up for the third year. Yeah. So talk about getting your fucking money's worth out of a song. And that is for all of those seasons. It's a different soup. But Rupert Hollier did the Apple TV ones, Long Way Up and Long Way Home, along with on the new one. I'm gonna butcher this fucking name, but it's Kadambari Shahan. So
very nice.
It's a very, very, very exotic name, but yeah. And every time I love this show. This is fucking great television. It is a couple of dudes that just love to go on adventures, and I am here for it. I like to go on my own adventures, as some of you know. I do like to ride the motorcycles, and every time I watch this show, I want to go on an adventure. And every time this theme song comes on, I'm in the mood to get on the fucking bike and go on a ride and go on an adventure and see where the day takes me.
It's such a great show.
It is a great show.
And Charlie, and like their friendship's so cool.
Yeah.
And if you followed it, it's so nice to see Charlie back in one piece, kind of. But I mean, the fact that he's going out again.
Yeah.
And that the both of them lived through COVID just like all of us did.
Yeah.
And became a little insular, and the idea that they're going to go out and visit their backyard in Europe and go up north and And the MVP of this fucking episode is Charlie Boorman's wife.
Oh yeah, Ollie. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, oh God, he's going out again. But I mean, at this point, when he's been put back together from,
countless
chests and lungs and feet and legs and arms and just everything broken.
Yeah.
But like, I would imagine, like, as his partner, you would be like, but he wants to go do it again. And the good thing is they're men of a certain age now.
Yeah.
And they're not doing the extreme shit. They're riding 150 miles a day. It's not like 400 miles and let's try to beat the sunset. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. The thing I like about this new season is like a lot of the first 3 was them basically chasing a schedule, right? Like
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
like, we got to get to this ferry. We
That
got to
was
get
the
through
stakes.
Here.
The
stakes.
stakes,
Right.
yeah.
On this one, they're like, fuck it. We're riding around Europe on these old ass fucking bikes. Ewan McGregor's on an Italian bike. Charlie's on a Beamer. And they are just like fucking like, oh no, we're going to go visit this little fishing village over here and hang out with a horse in a bar. I'm
The
like,
stakes are which bridges they're going to
wait.
cross. Lovely big bridge action.
you know, there's been a couple of snafus here and there, but it's nice.
And there will be.
And there will be. It's just fun.
By
I'm
the way,
enjoying it.
something I learned on this show from the last one I saw.
Yeah.
That I think every country in the world should do, and I think America should definitely do it. In Sweden, they have this law where you get your driver's permit at 15.
Oh yeah.
And they put a governor on your car where you can't go over basically 30 kilometers an hour,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It may be 30 miles an hour
Yeah.
converted from kilometers.
Yeah.
But like they put this big triangle on the back of your car that you're a learner.
Yeah.
And so as you're 15, 16, whatever, you could be driving a car. So you can go to work, you can go see your friends or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can't go any further than 30. You can't go any faster than 30.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. It's great.
Because that's where you get into trouble.
Yeah.
Is going too fast, but at least you're on the road. You get the feel of rain. You
Yeah.
feel like you're free.
Yeah.
But you also cannot go fast. And also, you can't go very far because you can't go fast.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And so, your job needs to be near, but it gives kids more confidence. I love this idea. I
Yeah.
mean, I was just floored by it. I was like, that is so fucking smart.
Yeah. 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 Plus,
We're in
a lot
America, we're like, here's a 2,000-pound vehicle. Good luck, kid.
Yeah. They're blasting
It's the
along
same
the
one
highway.
I drive.
Yeah. Exactly. Blasting along the highway at 130 miles an hour.
trying to merge with a bunch
Yeah.
of crazy people with guns on the road. And it's
Yeah.
like, and nothing on the back that says you're a kid.
Yeah.
At least this one, you're like, oh, there's
But
a learner.
even-
I'll move to the left.
Even if you see a sticker on a car that says, please be
Student driver.
patient, student driver, I still see people drive like assholes around
Yeah,
these
you're kind of-
kids.
people
It's
honk
just
at
like
'em.
They honk at you, and it's like, fuck, man. And having a child of a certain age, oh, man, you want to see the daddy bear, and I'm ready to knife people in traffic. Do that around
Yeah.
my kid. Anyway,
Yeah.
a lot of Volvos in that episode as well, by the way.
There really are. There really are.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a Stereophonics long way around. Rupert Hollier and Kadambari Shahan, the Soups on Long Way Home. I would give you the other ones on Long Way Around, Down and Up, if you want them all.
No, I love it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, I am back. We're back, baby. Welcome to Wrexham.
Yes.
Wrexham, up the town, bitches. Here
Yeah.
we go, season 4.
Excellent.
2 episodes have already dropped. It's on Hulu.
So good.
They've gone back-to-back promotions. Most people listening to this have no idea what that means because it's football, English football. And then here we go. They're going to try to go back-to-back promotions, which has basically never been done before.
Unheard of, yeah.
But they're close to the Championship League, and then the next one up from that is, that's Premier League shit.
Premier
They
League,
don't
yeah.
have nearly enough money to do it.
Or a big enough
Seriously,
stadium.
you're going against Saudis and shit. Like,
Ugh.
you do not have enough money to go. But the town is great. The everyone is back. The players are back.
Yeah.
Look, Rex, if you've listened to this show, we both love Wrexham.
Yeah.
It is a comfort show.
Fantastic show.
We love Ryan. We love Rob.
Yeah.
We love just all of this. It's fantastic. There will be a pilgrimage to Wrexham at some point.
At some point, yes.
Build the goddamn cop so I can go see a match. But anyway, put in that new pitch.
Nice,
You know what
nice.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, season 4 is out. Episode 2 is called High High Hopes.
Excellent.
And at the very end of the episode, my sync of the week is High High Hopes from Panic at the Disco.
Ah, excellent.
Again, High High Hopes. Anyway, love that song. You really don't want to do a song that is the same name as the episode unless it really nails it at the end.
Yeah.
And of course it does. The production of this show, whether you know football or soccer or whatever, the drama and the way they cut the audio, like when a ball is in the air
Yeah.
before they score or don't score, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's actually not really about soccer. It's not really about football. It's about people.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely about football. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, High Hopes from Panic at the Disco. Love this song. Love this episode. Love the whole thing. And we're back.
Yeah.
Up the town. The music soup on this is Andrea von Forster.
Yeah, there she is.
There she is. How you doing, Andrea?
Just keep nailing it.
So there you go. It is Welcome to Wrexham. So there is our 2 syncs of the week. Go watch some Apple TV and some Long Way Home. And go watch some Hulu and some Welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah, that's fucking well done, sir. That's a good choice.
Really good entertainment. Once again, we live in a golden age.
Yeah.
These are just fantastic shows.
Yeah.
That you learn stuff about other parts of the world. You fucking have fun. It feels good.
Yeah.
I don't know what you people are doing reading books. Okay, let's get to last call, everybody. Come on, get. Last call, I am going to shout out the Bobby G Awards and the Denver Center of Performing Arts.
Yeah.
What a night. Shout out to you guys. You did a fantastic show. Also, shout out to the kids, La Raza.
Yeah.
So shout out to you kids for what you did there too. I have one more shout out after you do yours.
I don't have a shout out this week. I have a funny feeling that the shout out you are going to do is the one I would do, but so go for it.
My last shout out is to also all of you who are listening to this. Stu and I are closing up the shop for the summer.
Yeah.
It is time for us to make some music and moves. And, we do this podcast for your fun. Look, you got 89 other episodes to go back through if you'd like. If you want to learn a little bit about the music industry and see whether or not we were right about some of the music stories and some of the things we talked about, whether some of the bands we talked about have already blown up and are on, say, tour this summer.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Looking at you, Lawrence.
Yeah, this podcast has been right.
Yeah.
You will also find out this summer whether Stu is the new guitarist for Shaka Khan and whether Michael is the new drummer for the Foo Fighters.
Yeah. Shout it out.
So we're going to take a break. We got to do some Christmas music coming up, and we're ramping up some songwriting projects and things that we're doing in music. And so we're going to take a little break from the podcasting for a while and go do our real jobs.
Yeah. Well, keep an eye on shit. We'll be sharing our shit here and there.
We will, and there are also going to be some surprises around the 2 Shots branding. There's going to be some little different things that might come out. So do continue to follow us at 2ShotsMusicPod, and make sure you can send us questions and comments, and we'll be on the socials every now and then. But we will be. We're going to go do our real jobs for a little bit, and we hope you guys do yours too. Get a tan.
Write some great fucking songs.
Go to the coast, man.
Write some great fucking songs.
There you go. Write some great songs. Take care of each other until we talk to you again. We love you so much. Goodbye. One last one.